Welcome to the book on estimating rehab costs by Jay Scott. Right off the bat, imagine walking into a rundown property, envisioning the perfect flip, but your numbers are off by thousands. That's the reality for many investors. The difference between a profit and a setback often comes down to one skill: accurate rehab estimation. As Jay Scott says, the difference between successful and unsuccessful investors often comes down to accurate rehab estimates. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Before we go further, if you want a step-by-step guide to follow along, you can download the PDF link below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the deeper lessons we'll uncover. Looking at our agenda, we'll start with why estimating rehab costs matters, explore the scope of work, examine key cost influencers, break down estimation methods, inspect property components, tackle major issues like mold or termites, cover contractor management and contingency planning, adapt to local market variations, and finish with actionable takeaways and reflection. Each of these slides carries a practical insight you can use immediately. Let's begin with why estimating rehab costs is so critical. Accurate estimates are more than numbers on a spreadsheet. They're the bridge between vision and reality. Misjudging costs can eat into profits, delay projects, and even turn what looked like a promising flip into a financial headache. Systematic planning empowers you to navigate these risks, giving you confidence and control over every project. Think of it like a map for a journey. Without it, you're wandering blind. Now, let's talk about the foundation of every successful renovation: the scope of work. The SOW defines every single task, from painting walls to replacing the roof. When done properly, it reduces surprises by up to 75% and prevents scope creep that can derail your budget and timeline. Start by inspecting the property room by room, then itemize tasks by component. Prioritize high ROI items, kitchens, bathrooms, and exteriors, and review your plan with contractors. Notice how this approach not only clarifies costs, but aligns everyone on the project vision. Moving on to the factors that influence rehab costs. Location, property age, and material quality can swing your budget by 50% or more. For example, labor rates in a city like Los Angeles can be double what you'd pay in a smaller town. Seasonal timing matters too. Scheduling work during off-peak periods can save you hundreds, sometimes thousands. Scott emphasizes factoring in these variables so your estimates reflect reality, not generic averages. Think about the last property you worked on. How much did overlooked factors inflate your budget? Next, estimation methods. Many beginners default to square footage or per room guesses, but Jay Scott recommends the breakdown method. Here, you list every task per component: labor, materials, and contingencies, and cross-check with local costs. This method can get you within 5% of actual expenses. It's meticulous, yes, but it's what separates consistent profits from unexpected overruns. Even seasoned investors sometimes skip this, only to pay later. As you see on this slide, small investments in planning prevent large financial surprises. Slide 4 focuses on major property components. Every property has around 25 key areas: roofs, plumbing, HVAC, foundations, and so on. Inspect each systematically, assign costs based on material and labor, and account for items nearing the end of their life. For example, an old roof might cost $108 is $350 per square to replace. By integrating these checks into your SOW, you're no longer guessing, you're budgeting with foresight. The lesson here is simple: understanding the parts strengthens the whole. Now, let's tackle major issues like mold or termites. These can escalate costs from a few $100s to over $10,000. Spot warning signs: odors, stains, or damaged wood, and hire professional inspectors. Budget for remediation and follow-ups. Scott shows that addressing these early preserves budgets and property integrity. Remember, proactive maintenance is not optional. It's an investment in protecting your profit margin. Contractor management and contingency planning go hand in hand. Choose contractors wisely, vet their skills and references, and always get multiple bids. Use milestone payments rather than paying up front, and allocate 10 to 20% of your budget for unexpected costs. Even the most thorough plan can't predict every issue. As Warren Buffett wisely said, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. With proper contractor management and built-in buffers, you minimize that risk and protect your returns. Local market adaptation is another critical factor. Costs fluctuate by region, urban versus rural locations, and local regulations. Granite countertops might be $28 per square foot in one city and $38 in another. Talk to local investors, check supplier rates, and adjust your estimates to reflect real market conditions. Flexibility here gives you a competitive edge and ensures your budgets are realistic. At this point, it's worth pausing for reflection. Think about your own rehab projects. Which part of your process could benefit most from detailed estimation and planning? And while you're thinking, if you found any of these insights useful so far, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. What's the one lesson you plan to apply on your next flip? Engaging with others is a great way to test your understanding and refine your approach. Let's move into actionable takeaways. Create a detailed scope of work for every project and use the breakdown estimation method per component. Conduct early inspections for major issues. Build 10 to 20% contingencies. Select contractors wisely and prioritize high ROI areas like kitchens and exteriors. Track estimates versus actuals in real time and network with local investors to refine your understanding of costs. Each of these steps reinforces the principle: foresight protects your profit. Finally, we reach the conclusion. Mastering rehab estimation blends foresight, systematic planning, and adaptability. Every accurate estimate is a step toward profitable flips and financial freedom. To make these steps actionable, grab the PDF in the description, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss insights like these. Start applying these strategies today and watch your real estate investments flourish.